the earliest reference to what became the New Testament was in something called the Gospel of Truth. And this was done by a guy in Rome named Valentinius. And what he did was he was well acquainted with the four books. And the Gospel of Truth shows that the middle, the letters from Peter, the Gospels, and the books of John 1, 2, and 3 of Peter, these writings were virtually identical with our New Testament today. And he did this in between 140 and 145 AD. And so it was used, but at times it was ignored because of something called Gnosticism. And we say Gnosticism was a branch of Christianity of people saying, they are good at knowing. And they had their own writings which were supposedly destroyed because they were considered heretics. And in 1945, in a place called Nag Hammadi in Egypt, in the desert of Egypt, the Gnostic Gospels were found. And among them was the Gospel of Judas, and very important, the Gospel of Thomas. And Thomas was not going to be added to the canon. It was too late. Vatican II had already happened. But they had a list of principles called hermeneutic principles, which really means the interpretation principles. And what the Gnostics believed was God is incarnate in Jesus. The only pure heart is only the pure in heart will see God. Other things that we understand, but one of their points was we must use every resource at our disposal in interpreting the scripture to bring ourselves and others to the knowledge of the truth. And this almost scientific, very academic approach didn't work with the theologians, didn't work with the popes, didn't work with the people in the church that were more interested in their own reality and not actually the truth. Now, as you have these four gospels that are being made into codices, you had later on some 1600 years later the Gospel of Thomas. Many people think the Gospel of Thomas is important because Thomas, who was a disciple, was considered the twin brother of Jesus, and Jesus calls him his twin. And in Greek, the word is didymus, and one thing that worked against the Gospel of Thomas is didymus was a slang word for testicles. So the Gospel of the Testicles, he really needed to rebrand at that time. But even in the Gospel of John, he identifies Thomas as the twin. He's known as Doubting Thomas because he said, I have to see the nail marks and the spear mark in the side of Jesus to believe in the resurrection.